Okay, so one of the newer debates that's arrived within the more recent time is between that of Pennywise from the It series or Welcome to Derry, the live action version mostly, or it just really doesn't matter that much, and Vecna, obviously Stranger Things. Now, with the conclusion of Stranger Things, since it's concluded about like at this point like a week and a half ago, it's obviously still going about of who it went in the fight. And I made a short a while ago, but it obviously was like when the topic started, and it's obviously garnered a lot of attention where a lot of videos are covered, and you've probably already seen videos from Power Scaler like Chronic and stuff like that. But I just wanted to come on here and give my own 2 cents, especially since some of the feats were, for Stranger Things were calced, and obviously the same thing for Welcome to Derry when the finale came. So yeah, I thought since the finale came for both of these guys, then we get our I give my 2 cents. So basically this is gonna be obviously who win a fight, Vecna versus Pennywise. And so before we begin, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more content on the channel. We're gonna try to hit 20K this year, and hopefully I hit that and I can hit even more. Make sure to follow my TikTok. I want to hit 10K followers on there. It's going to help the algorithm and help me most specifically, since I'll be able to monetize, earn money and all that stuff. Gotta figure out my situation with YouTube so I can earn money on there too. But yeah, so let's just begin with the scaling. Okay, so I'll just start with the scaling for Vecna, since I really want to get Vecna and Stranger Things out of the way. Obviously for Vecna, he doesn't really have too much for blunt physical strength, at least for in terms of season 4/5. He more so has a scaling with his telekinesis, so I'll just go over that more specifically. As with telekinesis, one of Vecna's key traits that was in season 4 was the usages of it mostly to dismember people with enough energy, which he mostly specifically used in least in the first context on his mother and technically his sister when he had killed his entire family. And this is also a key core element in basically Vecna's overall grand scheme plan with Chrissy, Patrick, and even Fred. So yeah, Vecna clearly easily already have some immediately wall level stuff, class 25 lifting strength, at least with telekinesis, so that's pretty it already there. Now one of Vecna's things for season 4 was the small city level feat that everyone talks about. This basically was Vecna getting a kill for each energized type of portal, making gateways to the for the upside down Earth, which at the end split Hawkins, which was calculated to be around small city level. Now my problem mostly with this fact is the fact that this took the span over a week, since season 4 was over a good span of time, and obviously this is a prep time feat. Along with that, we will never ever see stuff like this for Vecna, nor 11, nor any of that ever again. So it's already to me, and something I've noticed a lot with Stranger Things, especially since I made my very fun edit of Leon versus the Mind Flayer, that Stranger Things fans love to stick to either extremely high dimensional arguments off of context that gets destroyed really easily when you see the legitimate feats, or they just really resort to really ratty and wanky stuff, because you're gonna see real quick that this verse is very grounded, at least in its own scaling. So it's yeah, I don't even know. As for his other stuff, he technically can survive with a shotgun from Nancy point blank while weakened and on fire, which obviously we already know. The fire, it weakens the abyss monsters. Which was also confirmed at the end of season 4. Will basically confirmed that Vecna was hurt and stuff. Though Vecna, in that span of the 18-month gap between season 4 and now to season 5, he did get stronger, as we see that he basically pretty much no diffs the military, and even sends their own bullets flying, can even react to a flamethrower, and even basically make explosions out of sending guys into that for the energy of it, and even sending guys into a gas and also causing an explosion too. These haven't been calculated since these are technically done with using people as objects from these feats, but I would probably just imagine around the wall level, or maybe even close to small building level of type of scalings. So overall he has some decent-ish scalings. Though it is kind of wonky, since Vecna is showed that basically even after 11 sends him through a window, he still stumbles as Henry Creel, and yeah, everyone's already made fun of this. Derek somehow out-grip strengths him when Vecna tries to basically, grab on to Holly. Might be a small inconsistency or just something that I'm gonna get to later. But he can also use the tentacles to pull people in. Now, another scaling that you can give Vecna is scaling him off the Demogorgons, since he obviously controls with the hive mind of them. And while I'm iffy about saying that he's comparable to them, because you're gonna see a vast difference in the feat standards, I'll just entertain the idea and just say that he does for the sake of this video. As we see with the Demogorgons, they can also no-sell gunfire and sometimes no-sell, or at least it takes a lot more effort with normal stuff with them. Along with that, the Demogorgons can somewhat also be completely set on fire and be fine. Most specifically though, like the fully evolved Demogorgon, not the Demo Dogs. Along with that, the Demogorgons, they can burst through walls with much effort and time, calculated around wall level yet again. Along with that, even the Demo Dogs, it took multiple of them to burst down a Hawkins Labs steel door when the Hawkins massacre happened, which was also calculated around wall level, but a KUC RAM method basically gives it around 2 megadjoules, still being around wall level. It also basically can also move really fast. It can take out multiple people in the Russian prison scene in season 4, the Russian Demogorgon, which we do have a statement from one of the prisoners before the fight of how basically in around 20 to 30 seconds, all the men that were put in the pit with the Demogorgon to feed on, and they were already dead in that time period. So you could probably just say you could probably just give them superhuman or even a possible subsonic scaling. As we can all see, the Demogorgons, while I don't think they can no-sell bullets, it still shows that their skin is tough enough to where they can deal with bullets, and also they can pry open Russian doors and tear off metal doors. You already know in season 5, they pretty much no-diff the military, at least multiple versions of them. They're showing that they can have superhuman levels of strength, and just so on and so forth. As for calculated stuff, the Demogorgon, even in season 5, or one of them, throws Holly into a bookshelf, which was calculated to be around street level. Along with that, even could tear open metal for the van, which was calculated to be around wall level as well. Just consistent metal tearing or metal busting or door busting from the Demogorgons that get around wall level, so you get a decent idea. Though I am kind of skeptical on certain stuff, so I'll mention that later. You even have the last feat, Demo Dogs, which I'm kind of iffy about applying this since I'm not sure how much of a gap it is between the Demogorgons and dogs, so I'll just assume a Demogorgon can maybe survive this at bare minimum, injured, but probably. You even have the Demo Dogs in around season 5 when Mike's mom puts a gas in the dryer and it kills all 3 of them in a mini explosion. At worst, I probably would say something between wall levels, small building, or low into it. I'll get this count. I'll see this, but this is just still some stuff to assume that Vecna scales to, and I said assume because I already noted out one of them. But yeah, overall, Vecna got some decent scaling. As for that, I'll probably just put Vecna between the wall level ranges at maximum, you can maybe say small building level, and I'm gonna get to that real soon. The reason why I won't mention really higher stuff like the planetary arguments that people are starting to use or mention is because once again, it's a prep time feat. It's a prep time feat, and it required Vecna to use vessels of multiple other children to basically build a connection and to draw in enough energy. So it's a prep time feat, and it's also, once again, it's not something consistent that Vecna is shown to do. So yeah, that's kind of why I don't get the point of mentioning high stuff other than wankings, because it's very consistent that this type of energy is just it ain't it, pal. But yeah, that's gonna be really it for Vecna. Let's just move on to Pennywise.
Oh my, how I wish to cry every time we say goodbye.
Okay, so now we're at the Pennywise. Pennywise would actually be a lot more easier to go through since his scaling, while it's small, it's actually still easier to go through because they ain't too much to cover a lot, no mass scaling chance and stuff. So as for stuff in the It movies, Pennywise obviously is shown multiple times that he basically has easily, dismemberments of people, and even in Welcome to Derry, tearing off the principal's head. So yeah, it's real easy that Pennywise has easy dismemberments, so like wall level, class 25 lifting strength. He even smashed his head through a window to kill a child, likely holding back too. And if we're counting more other things for the Avatar, as Paul Bunyan, he could basically pierce through concrete and destroy some other stuff. Even in his spider form, he can smash some rocks in. He also has like small building level, likely via environmental destruction. Upon death, Pennywise caused his lair to collapse, but also causing the Nebolt house with the cavern and the sewers below it to all collapse. So you can give him some decent scaling via his environmental destruction. Along with that, he even moves, like, even in the script, he even actually rushes towards Bill in that one scene, basically, the speed of a freight train, easily giving some superhuman stuff. As for other scaling, Pennywise should obviously be basically superior to like the ghosts, the spirits of the dead children, or this is likely Pennywise himself. I'm not sure, I don't think it really matters that much, but Pennywise can basically cause like an entire cemetery to shake, similar to that of an earthquake, and even break most healed grounds, which was calculated to be around mountain level. So that's a pretty good scaling for Pennywise. This does get somewhat consistent with high scaling, as even in the episode 8 of Welcome to Derry literally begins with Pennywise causing a massive cloud to spread over the entirety of Derry and even almost to the lake, which was once again calculated between that of like small town level, 1.6 kilotons. So like a really impressive feat by Pennywise. This is actually also consistent considering that Pennywise crash landed on Earth while technically inside of something, which has two various calculations being between building level plus to that of even town level. So overall, Pennywise got some pretty consistent scaling. You can also even account for the fact that even in the episode, he also creates a mass amount of ice. So you can give Pennywise's avatar scaling somewhere, at least at the moment, between something around like small town level or just town level, and all the way to even that of mountain level at the maximum. As for his speed, I'd probably just say Pennywise is mostly consistently between like the superhuman and maybe subsonic ranges, since he should at the very least be much stronger than the Losers Club, who have even through might even have superhuman reaction time of feats. So I'd probably just say it's between superhuman and subsonic with his normal speed. Though for his attack speed, you already know this, the dead lights, basically flashing his true form, so obviously you just give that speed of light scaling, so I would typically count that for his attack speed, which it's a strong move with context of what it is. So yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. Obviously, you can even go higher with his true form scaling, since you obviously know, at least with novel contexts, is technically speaking, and applying this to live action, you already know Pennywise is a whole cosmic entity from the macroverse that's beyond our normal, means of comprehension and existence, and also just in an entirely different universal setting. Along with its shape-shifting form, its spider form is even the closest that we can see of comprehension of him. So I would just say, like, probably in his true form, like, if you want to use higher dimensional arguments, I would just say, like, he's Uni Plus or just universal, but, like, on a high scale at the bare minimum. He also is even confirmed to be omnipresent, as he sees basically the past, present, and future all at once when confronting Marge. Even his creators basically confirmed this as well, even like on the day that episode 8 concluded. So yeah, it's pretty consistent. Though I do think people do misinterpret the omnipresent argument, since basically they even try using it to say that he's high outerversal, when I think that's too far and that's way too goddamn much for what we see. I think it's possible to give him some higher scaling with season 2 and 3 of Welcome to Derry, but once again, we're gonna have to see that. So yeah, overall, that's really gonna be it for Pennywise's scaling. Let's see who wins this fight. Okay, so I think it's pretty needless to say, and almost usually every freaking video that you would go through says it. Yeah, Pennywise kind of mauls. I mean, not only is there like a massive gap in tiers between the, Pennywise and, obviously the Abyss characters or just Vecna in particular, but also just the fact that Pennywise could just utilize the deadlights and just literally put Vecna in a trance, or Pennywise has a more feeding factor, since we know from season 5's context through the caves that Vecna does have a massive fear of this, and it still does haunt him, meaning you can even use Pennywise's like knowledge over that to basically, you know, have a better win con against Vecna. But then again, you can also use the same thing for Vecna, as he can also try to get into the mind of Pennywise, but we already know through Pennywise's you know, action with Halloran and you know, in season, you know, in the final episode of Welcome to Derry, that Pennywise can notice and will kick you right out of it. So I think once Pennywise figures out that Vecna's in his mind, he will literally kick him the fuck out. I forgot to mention feats of the Mind Flayer, and that's because, you know, the Mind Flayer really is kind of weird, because if we're talking about the non-physical form of it, which I failed to really address in my Leon video, then it has decent-ish scaling, like mostly cloud stuff, which I'm really skeptical of, but it's kind of like a whole different thing. But if you're talking about the physical form of the Mind Flayer and trying to use that for physical scaling, then it's really weird, because the Mind Flayer obviously gets sent hurling by flamethrowers, Molotovs, spears, gun, like even an assault rifle makes it like move a lot and stuff. So it's like, it's really weird with scaling. Even 11 basically throwing a boulder at it, which the Mind Flayer's you know, size was calculated, which was calc between city block level and class M, though for legitimately blunt durability or blunt stuff, since, you know, 11's boulder like sent it hurling, which was calculated between wall level plus to barely small building level, since I believe 20 megajoules is literally just hitting small building level, meaning that if you have a character that's consistently small building level, or even worse, small building plus, aka almost at the verge of a baseline building level, then you're really just beating the bricks off this thing, which once again makes it really hard for me to believe any other types of scaling. I know people have like the portal arguments, but I really just think that those are just more custom interdimensional travel. Plus, you can even see that the characters can mostly pierce through those things really easily, so it's like, yeah, I don't really know if you're gonna count it. Also, with just the more consistent feats being a lot more grounded and stuff, I think it's just better to safely assume that. Plus, even the biggest bad, the Mind Flayer getting hurled by barely small building stuff, yeah, large mountain level or building plus my ass. Yeah, that's just, it's just inconsistent. It just makes this verse like a massive glass cannon, because it's like they're vastly inconsistent. But yeah, anyways, Pennywise easily wins this fight, just no diff. Like, Pennywise, honestly, I'm even inclined to say a negative diff, because the massive gaps technically between stats is just insane. Plus, Pennywise just out-win cons in every sort of way. So yeah, that's really gonna be it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for basically the lack of uploads. It's really just work, and also it's gonna be even worse probably because of school coming back. But I'm gonna upload some shorts. So if you guys want me some shorts, you know, I'll be posting on like the community tab. You know, let me know what shorts y'all want. Also, make sure to really follow my TikTok. I'm trying to hit 10K on there, and I really would love it to basically, you know, help the algorithm out on there for me too. Help me get a little bit more stuff on there, along with just, you know, making money and stuff. So without that, it's been unknown, scaling Stranger Things and Pennywise. Without that, God bless y'all. Keep all y'all safe. Peace.